Because it's pattern, chat. It's a hand-me-down pattern, okay? It's not just mine. It's a genetic hand-me-down pattern. And, processing through the hand-me-downs that were just so thoroughly ingrained in you. And, like, the fact that society even agrees with the pattern, and then, like, also being in this embodiment in the societal perspectives agrees with that pattern. I had to restructure myself before I could even get to the pattern. Okay, like, so it's a thing. It's a thing. We're working through the thing. Okay, and so that's what it is. And I just feel so much love, and I'm just grateful to be able to like share this, because oh my goodness, the unfoldment has been so real lately. It has been so real. I can make a song about how real it's been. But yes, it's been so very tangible, but yes, so yummy, but also so fulfilling and so emptying. It's been like so many, it's so rich. The riches, the richness of unfolding yourself. Greetings. So, on the topic of limitation, right? I'm noticing perspectives of like the conversation of having and not having. I'm noticing that when it comes to putting yourself in a situation that you're being led to be in, that's calling you, every part of you, and you don't know how the sustainability of yourself will be handled. It creates a lot of question within the mind as you're trying to figure it out. And then you realize there's no figuring out. There's just happening, and that you have to just have this experience of the unfoldment of your reality. Now, you've already called in a bunch of things. You already asked for a bunch of things. So you're like, okay, I know all of these things are included somewhere in this happening. You just realize you have to be open to the thing. You have to be open to receiving the thing. And regardless of you knowing how or when or where or any of that wonderful universal work, the grand supreme architect and the constructs of this infinite intelligence of which we are and live in are surrounded by, that there's just trust for that. And then dealing with perspectives that you already created. There's some things that are just like bubbling up, and they're doing this, they're busy, and I'm like, okay, no, calm, so that I can step into myself and I can, be this expression that I desire, and to be in a flow with this creation, and realizing that I'm at the point of no return. I cannot turn back. There's no turning back right here. Like, I'm completely clear on the fact that there must be a leaving that back there and a going forward, and that the focus must be forward, and that the energy must be forward, and that the thoughts must be forward. Everything must be forward. There's no turning back. What do you do with the thoughts? All of the thoughts. It's like, do I just let them pass by? Do I just not acknowledge them? Do I acknowledge them? I mean, if I feel the emotional pull of them, I will want to acknowledge them, because they're very trained and very entangled in how my body is moving through this. And I don't want to go back into the old energy. So in order to like restabilize what is going on in this flux of the before and the after, the what I came from and the what I'm walking towards, in this fluxing moment of joy, recognition of where I am, and also recognizing where I'm not, and also recognizing where I've been, and they're all just doing this dance right now. So I think my attention is going more towards pulling me forward instead of letting it be something that causes distraction to the focus of what I am moving into. So I'm going to take time to acknowledge those uncomfortable spaces, especially if they're pulling in. And I'm like, I can't really ignore this right now. But then in the acknowledgement of them, there's a desire to rewrite, because habitually I rewrite. Habitually, if I'm feeling something and I recognize what that thing was already, I rewrite. So then I'll come up with the new affirmation and I'll put that in me. I'll eat it. I'll think it. I'll say it. I'll feel it. And then those other feelings will kind of just dissipate. And I'll just do it until those dissipate. And that's a good way to retrain something. But these things they've been there for so long, so long. So they kind of have a much rooted, much more rooted pull in my energy when those thoughts come by and pass. So I feel myself wanting to lean into the feelings of abundance, the feelings of grounded, secure, the feelings of comfort, and not wanting to even explore these uncomfortable spaces. And I think I'm realizing, like, I've already been exploring them. Like, I don't need to go back over there and do anything. I already understand why they're there. And I've also done, like, the root work for uprooting it, which is why it's showing up, because it's this dispersal of those energies that is now being experiencing, like the dispersal of financial discomfort. And I feel like they're coming out to just be acknowledged and then integrated or alchemized. So I can take that energy from that and go and put it into the feelings of financial comfort, of well-being, of peacefulness, of the ease of what it is that I intend to create as I follow this unplanned journey into this next phase. So it's more so like the unraveling of what I was doing before, of how I was placing my energy before. And it's an allowance for me to go into the new space and to get comfortable there, get grounded there, instead of just continuing to explore the same old themes. So I feel like it's a leaning into the other frequency, which allows that same energy that comes out to be alchemized into where I want to be. So that feels good, actually. That feels good, It's working. I can do this. I can do this. So I do see it being clarified as just an energy pattern. So I can feel that it's just an energy pattern. And I have walked that path so many times inside myself that it's like a groove there. And so it's like automatically flowing. And so in order for me to restructure that flow of energy, I have to basically create the new path. And so I talked about this before. So it's the same process. The thing is, I was feeling that it maybe would be different because of the fact that, like, it feels different. This is a much more intense thing for me than some of the other patterns. This is actually like ooh, a very deeply ingrained pattern. I'm having to like breathe through just to like get past the feeling of what I've already created, the path that I've already created. And it's I'm feeling it in different places in my body. The feeling of it, and I feel like the breathing is helping to like disrupt the pattern. It's like blowing, like if you were to blow dirt into that crevice, that trail that I dug, then it can get filled and I can just go ahead and flow into the new path. And it's so interesting because I'm actually seeing that trail as like this very like narrow like ditch in the ground. And when I'm looking towards the new path, it is starting like this and just ever widening into, like, as you walk into the path gets wider. And I think that what's interesting about that is that old pattern was like very restrictive, very, very restrictive. It played into many things in my experience because it was about the limitation of what I can have in life. There was a strong like thread that was entangled in that. And so then when you talk about like the new direction I'm going, there's actually limitless and abundance and free flow, and there's grace for everything. It's all encompassing. One thing about like the infinite is that it is all inclusive, and that is why there's no right and no wrong, because like it includes all of you, and no part of you is negated or goes unseen or is disallowed. You know what I'm saying? Like, even though I'm choosing the path of fulfillment, that it doesn't take away the existence of the path of the narrow limitation. It's just me redistributing energy and attention to the wider path of abundance and pleasure and well-being and allowance and receptivity. And that path is a wider path. Like, you can receive so much more than on the little narrow road. So then it's just about that allowance and transferring the energy, siphoning it off of that distrustful narrow space and into this flow of just love and acceptance and yes to me and yes to self. And so yeah, that's basically what it is. So it's more of the same process. It just was feeling different at first because of the intensity. The intensity was very noticeable in this moment, more so than any other moment, because this pattern, child, it's a hand-me-down pattern. Okay, it's not just mine. It's a genetic hand-me-down pattern. And processing through the hand-me-downs that were just so thoroughly ingrained in you, and like the fact that society even agrees with the pattern, and then like also being in this embodiment in the societal perspectives agrees with that pattern. I had to restructure myself before I could even get to the pattern. Okay, like, so it's a thing. It's a thing. We're working through the thing. Okay, and so that's what it is. And I just feel so much love, and I'm just grateful to be able to like share this, because oh my goodness, the unfoldment has been so real lately. It has been so real. I can make a song about how real it's been. But yes, it's been so very tangible, but yes, so yummy, but also so fulfilling and so emptying. It's been like so many, it's so rich. The richness of unfolding yourself, of coming to realize yourself. Okay, I'm gonna stop now. But it's, it's a very rich experience, my friend. It's very rich. So anyway, all the feels. I'm so grateful for this moment, and for your time, and for listening, and for breathing with me. Okay, peace and love. I wish y'all again the most wonderful unfoldment, and please remember to like, share, and subscribe, as I'll be bringing you more of me on this lovely YouTube channel. You can also find me on IG, Attuned Me. Just search Michelin L anywhere. You will find me, Michelin, MISHLYN. Michelin, just like it sounds, in English. Okay, peace and love, y'all.